Welcome back to the Shivah. In the last episode, we managed to find out that one of our former community members and a former member of the Congress of the synagogue that we run has been murdered 3 days ago. So we are now dropping by his house to pay our respects and have a Shivah event happening. So we are definitely going to be under a lot of fire because in the last episode we also found out that Jack, Lauder, and Rabbi Stone parted on very bad terms.
Some time ago, yes.
All right, come on in. I'm sorry, you look so familiar, but I can't place your face. What is your name?
If I wanted answers, she would have to know who I was. This required tact.
You don't remember me? 8 years ago, Rabbi Russell Stone?
Oh, I remember now. You have a lot of nerve coming here.
So it seems the bad blood was very toxic.
Why do you think that, Mrs. Lauder?
Oh, don't give me that. I know all about those tricks. Answering a question with a question. Jack did it all the time.
I'd like to think he learned it from me.
It's too late for that, Rabbi. Way too late. What do you want?
I just want to talk about Jack.
Talk? Just came by for a friendly chat? Is that it? Oh, stop it. Just stop it. I don't believe this. You threw us out of your temple 8 years ago. And now you drop by for a visit?
It wasn't like that.
Well, what was it then? Can you tell me that?
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Maybe you're right. And yet you're here. Why?
Why would the police come speak to me, Mrs. Lauder?
I have no idea. What did they say?
That I'm suspect number 1.
Really? Well, that would make sense. Who else has a motive except for the rabbi who hates us?
I'll let that slide.
Whatever. Jack hated you. That's enough.
Mrs. Lauder, if he hated me so much, why did he leave me $10,000 in his will?
That's impossible.
I said the same thing.
Jack wouldn't do that.
It's a crazy world.
How do you know for sure?
The police told me. I have no love of the police, but I doubt they'd lie about that. Mrs. Lauder, if Jack hated me so much, why did he give me so much money?
I don't know. This makes no sense. None of it does. Who would kill Jack? He was a good man.
Yes, he was.
Don't you start. You have no idea.
The police have no other leads?
Aside from you? No.
How did he die?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Well, I suppose I'm curious, and I'd like to help.
Help? Why would you want to help?
I don't know. Maybe I'm looking to make amends for what happened 8 years ago.
Pfft, why not? Why shouldn't a rabbi play at being detective? You want to investigate, Rabbi Stone? Be my guest.
I'll have to ask you some questions about what happened.
Can't you just ask the police?
They won't talk to me. I'm a suspect.
Fine, fine. Ask whatever you want.
How did Jack die?
He was shot right in the head at close range, according to the police.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Lauder.
He was in the showroom, working late. That's all I know.
What business was your husband in?
We were in business together. Fashion design, high-end casual wear, shirts, blouses, slacks. I'd design and he'd sell.
Was the business successful?
We did all right. It was tough at first, but things have been picking up over the last few years. We sell to mainly boutique stores, but Macy's has bought several pieces from us, and Saks was interested.
And just like any other detective, you must ask a lot of questions.
And what happens to the business now? Are you going to run it by yourself?
I guess I could, but not right away. And definitely not in that same showroom.
I can understand that. Where is your showroom?
Why, do you want to have a look?
It can't hurt.
Oh, this is crazy. Do you really want to do this?
Yes.
Sure, if you want to have a look, go ahead. Just because trained police officers couldn't find anything doesn't mean a rabbi can't. The building is 1407 Broadway, room 903.
You've covered up the mirror.
Yes, it's what you are supposed to do, right?
Well, yes, but...
I know. I'm not Jewish. I'm probably doing it all wrong, but it feels right. Is it right, Rabbi?
It's perfect.
Thank you.
How are you holding up, Mrs. Lauder?
Fine. As well as can be expected.
What is the name of your business?
Charming Fashion Company.
Charming.
Yeah, it's a strange name, but it has meaning behind it. It's based on my family's name, Sharma, and it sounds like charming.
I get it. Real cute.
That name also does come back to play in future games.
Can you tell me about your company again?
Sure. What do you want to know?
Actually,
I'm going to leave now. I'll see what else I can discover.
Thanks, I guess. Rabbi Stone?
Yes?
About 8 years ago, could you just tell me why?
Were you and Jack happy?
Yes. Yes, we were.
Then my reasons don't matter.
he's got a point. The design board was the only spark of creativity left in this deserted showroom. I didn't know much about fashion design, but it looked like a skirt, or maybe a large shirt. It was a poster of some blank-faced woman in a hat. Designs for some sort of skimpy sundress with some orders attached. The dressmaker's dummy. Clothing rack was empty. I suppose Mrs. Lauder took everything away. It was a photo of Mrs. Lauder with a post-it note reading, "Don't forget anniversary flowers." Paint, markers, and random junk adorn the shelf. Of course, there would need to be a password on the computer. It's only expected. Clues. Okay. She actually did give us the password almost immediately. There were a lot of personal checks written out to a Joe DeMarco. I wonder who he is. Looked like Jack hired an accounting firm. We should be able to search. I recognized the name. It was a clothing store. Evidently they bought products from Jack and paid for it properly. All cut and dry, nothing unusual here. So Macy's and Moda. I recognized the name. It was a clothing store. Okay, we're seeing a lot of out to a personal for Joe DeMarco, so that's somebody we could ask about. Payment went to a shipping company, nothing unusual. Beth Tikva sounded like the name of a synagogue. Okay, now let's see if we can go through emails. We'll, apparently he tried to email us. Hello, Rabbi Stone. It's been a while. I hope I got the correct email address. No doubt you are surprised to hear from me. I'm not sure why I'm writing either. I often think about what you said. It still angers me, but I can understand your motives. You looked at us and said nothing is worse when Jews turn their backs on one another. I can still remember that look in your eyes, sheer contempt, like we were the worst sort of scum that ever crawled out of the ocean. I love my wife, Rabbi Stone. She is my partner in everything. I regret nothing. Nothing, that is, except you. I hated you. For years I hated you. We both did. I joined another temple with a rabbi who was willing to marry us and tried to forget about you. But when I found myself in trouble and in need of guidance, I could think of nowhere else to turn. You called me a traitor once. Do you still feel that way? I've seen traitors. I've seen Jews turn their backs on other Jews. It's not pretty. It's awful. I am not like them. Time has cooled my hatred. Has it done the same to you? I need to speak to you. I feel like I'm 12 years old again, preparing for my bar mitzvah, and needing help with my Torah portion. I know I didn't marry a Jewish girl or go to temple every week, or keep kosher or do any of the many things we were supposed to do, but I always have known that I was Jewish. Is that enough? I'm not a traitor, Rabbi. I've never forgotten I'm Jewish. Jack Lauder. Okay. I got the shirt designs. Got the tickets. Of course, Tomo, for your network and protection needs. Rates do seem unusually high. I'll look into it. Get her packed and ready to ship. We'll get it on the next boat. Your instinct was right. Something isn't right with this deal. All the wire transfers lead to different places and nobody answers the phone at any of them. My accountant sense is tingling. Don't panic, Jack. I'll get to the bottom of this. See you at temple tonight. So, we need to find out this Ethan's name. Last name. I'm gonna cancel it again. Okay. Dinner at Goldwater's. Call me now. We need to talk. I got you into this message. I will get you out. I'm meeting with JDM tonight. Do not write any more checks until you hear from me. If he wants to play hardball, he picked the wrong guy to mess with. JDM. Joe DeMarco? perhaps? This was worth looking into. Still waiting payment transfer. Goods are taking up space in the warehouse. Please submit the monies ASAP or we will be forced to liquidate. Okay, so... the Ploff Kippens. Who is this Joe DeMarco? That's got to be it. The JDM and Ethan's letter had to be Joe DeMarco. I had no idea if Ethan G and Joe DeMarco were connected. Based on my discoveries, Joe DeMarco evidently had a meeting with someone named Ethan. Okay, so we have... we have actually exhausted everything here for the moment. Let's go pay the other rabbi a visit. Tasteful podium of lacquered oak. It looked brand new and smelled abrasive polish.
Meh. I've seen better.
Service must have just ended. They hadn't gotten around to putting the Torah away
Can't
yet.
believe they're just leaving it here for anyone to come in and take it. They must have dozens of them in a back room somewhere.
Several of the photos showed a group of children sitting around a table. Two men flanked the children, smiling at the camera, like they just won the lottery. The caption read, J. Silver and E. Goldberg, on duty at the Beth Tikva Youth Center. Okay, so we potentially have a last name for Mr. Ethan here.
Yes?
You're the chief rabbi here at Beth Tikva?
I do carry that honor. So, what can I do for you, Mr.
Rabbi, actually. Rabbi Stone.
Well, fancy that. I can always spare time for a fellow rabbi. What brings you to our humble synagogue?
Do you know Mr. Jack Lauder?
Should I know Mr. Jack Lauder?
Don't you think you should know Jack Lauder?
Why do you think so?
Wasn't he a member of your congregation?
Was he?
Don't you know your own congregation?
Oh,
Am I
Lord.
expected to know everybody?
Well,
Amos broke out into an angelic smile.
Are you finished?
I guess.
Wonderful.
He was a member of your congregation. He died a few days ago.
That's right. The funeral service was yesterday. I honestly don't know where my head is these days.
You conducted the ceremony?
Yes, his wife insisted on it.
Did she now?
If I may ask, what is your interest in Mr. Lauder?
Aren't all matters of our flock our concern?
Well, not every matter, but still, we do what we can, don't we?
Is there anything you can tell me about Mr. Lauder?
I'm afraid not, Rabbi Stone. My congregation is rather large, and Mr. Lauder seldom attended services. I'm sure I don't need to tell you what that's like.
You certainly don't. Does the name Joe DeMarco mean anything to you?
DeMarco?
Yes.
Sounds Italian. Other than that, it means nothing. Sorry.
Are you familiar with an Ethan G?
Ethan G? Is that his name?
Just an initial as far as I know.
Ah, well, nothing leaps to mind, I'm afraid.
Do you know anything about Ethan G meeting up with Joe DeMarco?
In all honesty, I have no idea who Joe DeMarco is, so I'm afraid the answer is no.
And sadly, that is all we
Good
can
night to
do
you, Rabbi
with
Zelig.
Rabbi
Good night
Zelig
to
at the
you,
moment.
Rabbi Stone.
So, back to Ben Zion to do some research. On two things, Joe DeMarco and whoever Ethan G is. Now, we did find a last name, so we could probably try to put Ethan and Goldberg together. Anything else in our emails anymore? Nope. So let's search for a Joe. With a warm rush of triumph, I knew I found my man. Ethan Goldberg of Beth Tikva was found dead last night in Murray Hill alleyway outside Patty O'Hare's pub, victim of apparent mugging. We arrived and express our sympathies to Ethan's friends and families. Okay. Whelp rating instead of Yelp, it's Whelp. 1 out of 5, East 33rd Street, Bacone Park in Lexington. Wow, I didn't think they still had dives like this in Manhattan. Do not use the bathroom. Are they connected to each other? Yes, actually. So let's go ahead and give Patty. No. We need to speak some more with Mrs. Lauder.
Mrs. Lauder.
Oh, it's you. Come on in.
And this is going to be where I leave this episode. Once again, everybody, thank you for joining me for this. It is a pleasure to bring you games that are rather obscure and off the wall, and indie developers do make great and wonderful point-and-click games too. So as always, I will see you in the next one. Later.